The thing here is very important, is to make sure your brush is absolutely clean and that the container you're putting your varnish in also does not have any material in it. So I'm cleaning my brush with some fresh turpentine, making sure nothing's on it. So it's important to use a brush that works with about the average size of your brush strokes. It doesn't have to be perfect, you don't have to match every single brush stroke. And also before varnishing, I just want to take my clean brush and just brush off any bit of lint I see on here. Not much. Okay, I have my clean towel and brush ready to go. I like to start in sections. I move from the corner in sort of squares. So I kind of create a sort of amount of space that feels good to me, maybe a few inches by probably about 6 by 6 inch squares. And I'll just work those little patches all the way across. The reason I don't just sort of hop all over is because once I get going with it, it might be difficult to see as the varnish starts to dry a little bit, and to distinguish the areas varnished with the areas that might just have a little bit of gloss on it already. What I really need is to have the entire thing have the exact same amount of varnish on it. So the sort of little tiles that I'm like layering on here one at a time just helps me systematically cover the entire piece. And when I look at from an angle, I want to see an even tone of reflective surface, and you can see that in some areas, you know, as we get closer in here, it starts to, there's bigger brush strokes in there. So I have to go over some areas a second time, and even though some areas like right here, there's thicker brush strokes that are running this direction, but I am taking all of my varnish strokes going down, up and down, and this actually works well with me because most of my brush strokes are up and down. If you have brush strokes that are running all over the place, you might want to occasionally run a stroke going different directions, just to get into the grooves left from that brush stroke. But ideally, run another stroke always in one direction. And up and down I particularly like because usually the light is shining downward, and I want the stroke of this varnish to run with the light. Alright, so here is the painting, totally varnished. There's still little bits of reflections being picked up. Right now I am lighting it with lights that have polarizing filters on the lights. So if you are trying this, I'd love to hear from you how it works for you. Below I'll put links to all of these supplies that I used. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Alright, thanks.